everyone. It is the two ancient semi-enlightened broads here to schmooze a little bit today. And excuse me just one moment. Simone, oh, there you are.
Hi, Dot. Hi, everyone.
And look at that mask.
Aren't I cute?
You are. And it sort of goes with your outfit.
Not really. In fact, the cashier at Whole Foods said, "Good Lord, you are so out of sync tonight. You're really bad." Oh,
that's not true.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
I'm sitting in my office and it's like 98 degrees in here with the door shut.
Well,
what we do for you all.
It's like a sauna.
That's a good idea.
There you go.
That's a really good idea.
I know.
How are you, Dottie?
I'm good. And was the mask to protect me?
From the hilarity.
Oh.
From the insanity.
Yours or mine?
Where are you? Are you in Covington Gardens, England, or where are you tonight?
Well, I didn't want to tell you, but this is my new backyard. And why are we doing this today?
Well, we're doing it because we know how stressed people are. And we know that because our friends are stressed, our clients are stressed, our partners are stressed, and we are stressed from time to time, right?
Time to time.
So we thought if we shared some of our secrets and some of our tools today, you can't have too many tools for the COVID era, can you?
Well, coping tools.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Good tools that you can use immediately and call on no matter where you are.
I have several people who have called me recently, and I think I've talked about this before, but a couple of them are terrified and fearful of going out because they know the virus is everywhere and they'll get it. And feeling like they have no control whatsoever. And people whose moods are changing.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
well, how are you with it?
Well, you know, I'm not someone who panics easily.
No.
And when I'm doing my ordinary work, which is talking to people like this, or teaching something, then I know for me, I do things to keep my immune system strong, and I take precautions when I do go out. And I think that's the main thing. And I know that we've talked about this before. I know there are people who feel like I don't know, they're being controlled if they are told to wear a mask, but I'm not feeling controlled when I'm asked to think about your health and wellness.
Right. Well, that's who we're doing it for, right? Besides ourselves, we're doing it for everybody else. It's just part of love and respect and caring about the planet.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I notice in myself these little moments, like my darling Brenda brought me some roses today, and I went downstairs and they came from Whole Foods and they had that cellophane covering. So I picked it up, and I was putting the flower. Here they are.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Flowers and a thing. Yeah, thank you, Brenda. I love you, love you. And then I didn't wash my hands.
Ah.
And I was upstairs and I thought, that moment.
Panic!
Oh no! How many people and things did I touch in the last 2.5 seconds?
Yes, right.
So then I asked Spirit. I first of all, I remembered that I didn't touch that much, and I certainly didn't touch my face, so I went and washed my hands. But it's unclear where we're catching this stuff other than from each other. There's so many.
That is exactly what it is.
There's so many different stories. I remember in the beginning they said, well, you get it from cellophane, you have to wait like 24 hours for wood, for this, if it touches the stove and then you touch the stove and it's on your hands and then you touch your face, man, you're in big trouble.
Well, that was in the beginning. But
But
research,
now,
yeah, research has taught us and science that some things that they thought were true are not true, and we're learning something new every day.
exactly. And my point is, depending upon where you are, every moment in your life, or most moments in your life, is how you're going to react to something when it's really big like this. You can always find ways to bring yourself back to yourself. You don't want to get caught out there spinning on what the media is telling you, or what the president's telling you, or what even your friends are telling you. I think my best moment is when I turn to spirit and I ask, is this harming me right now? Could I actually harm someone with this? And I sit with it intuitively. Then I know immediately whether the answer is yes or no. I wish everybody would do that. Really trust your intuitive nature that way.
Right, right.
And you don't necessarily have to talk to an angel. You can talk to your own inner guidance that's guiding you anyway. Whether you're listening to it or not, it's going to show up and try and do that for you, right?
Well, another thing I do is a sway test. It's
Yeah, I
like
love
muscle
that.
testing,
Yeah.
only it's a sway test. And really all you do is stand facing north, relax your body, ask a question in your physical form. And really it's about your personal self, not about whether it's going to be a nice day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's more, and every day I start my day with facing north, relaxing my body, and saying, I have COVID-19 infecting my body right now. And then I wait for the sway. And invariably, so far, every morning, I've moved backwards.
Mm.
So much so that I have to catch myself so I don't fall down.
So what does that mean when you move backwards?
It
I mean,
means
as
no.
opposed to the side or front.
No, it's just forward and back.
I see.
And when you move forward, it's a yes. It's your body's saying yes, that's true. And when
Oh,
your
I
body
see.
sways backward,
I
then that
see.
means no, that isn't true.
I see. Well, that's interesting. I've never tried that. I
I'll
always
teach
do
you.
muscle testing, the
Sometimes I do muscle testing that way too, but the sway test, which what I understand is an American Indian process.
love it.
In the research I've done, that's what it says anyway.
I love it.
Now, American Indians could be watching this and say, what is she talking about?
What is that white woman talking about right now?
I should say Native Americans, I'm sorry.
Well, there's a lot of controversy whether people want to be called Native American, First Americans.
Mhm.
I want to be called I want to call them what they want to be called. I think that's the only answer.
Well, it's like us. I want to be called what I want to be called.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And it isn't Helen.
You could be a Helen. No,
No.
Helen's too heavy for you.
Helen Mirren.
Oh, love her.
Wow.
She's incredible. Okay, you be her and I'll be, who's that one? Emma Thompson. Oh my God. I'm so in love with Emma. That one scene, and I'll get out of this, that one scene in where her husband's having an affair in oh come on. The one that's on at Christmas time all the time. Actually, it's on all the time with Hugh Grant and Love Actually.
Oh, Love Actually.
And she's standing in the bedroom and Joni Mitchell is singing Both Sides Now and the tears. Oscar forever. Anyway, I love you, Emma.
Does that remind you of you?
I know Emma's sitting at home watching right now. So. She's terrific. Anyway, I don't know how we got into this.
What can we do? What tools can we teach today?
Well, I think they're very pragmatic tools like nutrition and exercise and laughing and movement and all that. We can go into that. And then I think they're the more esoteric tools, that esoteric meaning more heavenly, more
spiritual, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that if you have a sound and a strong foundation that way that you're building on, that you can go to a place where you immediately feel safe and loved inside of yourself, or with your guides and teachers, if you care to be that flamboyant. all those things are really, really helpful. The most important thing, of course, is to feel safe inside of yourself. As far as I'm concerned, that's the biggie. This is one I've been working on forever.
Yeah.
And
I found that someone posted the other day on Facebook just a picture, or actually a video of the ocean, and the ocean waves coming in and then receding and coming, and it with the sound.
oh,
And I clicked on the picture and opened it up and just sat there for, I'll bet, 10 minutes watching the waves and listening to the sound. It was as though I was right there on the beach in Maui.
yeah, was that last night?
Was one of the times.
You know, because I was doing it last night with Bob Longy's backyard, sitting in. Bob Longy had an incredible being. Has this incredible house in Maui on
Yeah.
the ocean. I used to stay a lot, and Dorothy and I stayed there when we were teaching. And it looks right out on the ocean, and you can
Right.
sit in this jacuzzi, which overlooks the lap pool and the mermaid pool, and look right
Yes,
out.
I remember it well.
Oh, what a sound! And that palm trees are blowing in the wind. Oh,
Mhm. And
so
so
safe place.
truly find some sound that fills you with a sense of peace or joy, or just gets you out of your normal space in your home, and just be with yourself for a little while. I think it's so important for all of us to do that, because we have to find new ways to cope with life, and because we are right now sheltered in place, and we're apparently going to be for a while longer. So all we're doing today is giving you some ideas, if you haven't already found those ideas yourself.
Mm-hmm. There's something to be said, excuse me, with all of the drama and trauma and weirdness right now, and sadness and all of it.
I know.
We're playing the whole keyboard right now. There's something to be said about really being in the present moment, coming back to yourself. And right now, in this moment, how are you feeling? Right now, how are you feeling? And then there's this thing about smiling. If you would choose to smile, it changes your whole energy field really fast. I mean, and that's true if you see your liver smiling, or your heart, or your brain, any part of you smiling. It brings the energy up, vibration up immediately. And I think people probably thinking, well, I'm depressed right now. What's going on? How can I smile? Yes, you can. And if you will do that, you'll find yourself dissolving out the heaviness. The smiling is so powerful. I don't know if people really get that yet, but I know when I start to feel depleted or whatever, if I will go and I will smile and start finding things to smile about. If I go outside and I go out into nature and I'm smiling at the trees, and you know me, I'm always naming everything around the house. I go to Gloria and my palm plant in the dining room, and we have a conversation, and I'm smiling, and it feels so great, you know. I anthropomorphize everything. I bring everything into a sense of something where I can communicate with it, and it's a wonderful tool to, you know, take away the fear of separation and being alone with your emotions and your feelings. And there's something so beautiful about knowing that you can go into that oneness. I was telling you about that, listening to Jim Carrey today, who's one of my heroes. And he says these things like they're nothing. So today he said, your soul does not end at the edge of your skin. So just sitting with that for a minute, your soul, this huge part of you that's been coming back and coming back and coming back, does not end with you. It's actually out there in the scheme of everything. That's really something to think about, because we can't, you know, we make it ours, and it's only ours, and it's different from everybody else. I mean, the ego gets in and wants to make it, special or different or unique or less than or whatever the ego can come up with. But it's not really that. The soul wants to be a part of everything. It's yearning to know that oneness. So even when crazy things are going on all around us, and people are dying or getting sick or whatever, people are, it's all going on. If you can say to yourself, I am not alone in this. I have so many allies, and who I am goes on and on. Who I am is eternal, and it's a part of every living thing. It's a part of everything. Whoa. It's so much better than the little tiny containers that we put ourselves in, that feel so safe until some big thing comes in, and then, it's suffocating in that container. I think that's in some ways, I think that's why people fight this mask thing. I think they're fighting it because they feel so contained and almost suffocated. But they're not suffocated by the mask. They're suffocated by their fear. And the fear that they're being controlled. And good luck. Good luck, everybody. Good luck about the control thing, because there isn't any control. Never was and never will be. So.
Well, I think that a lot of people, myself included, feel like if I can come from within and have some way to deal with something,
Yes,
it gives me a sense of control. And I was working with a woman just recently who was having cancer surgery, cervical, I think. And she was very upset about it and frightened. And I offered to make a recording for her that she could use, and she listened to it. The first time she listened to it, she emailed me and said, at least now I feel like I have some control over what's going to happen inside me, rather than being in essence, rather than being in a sense of fear. I can go in, I can calm myself down, I can expect the best. And so many times when catastrophe happens, and lots of people are looking at this particular time in our planetary issue as catastrophe. And for many who have been very, very ill, or others who have passed, that certainly feels and looks like catastrophe. And for those of us who are still functioning, the fear of what can happen begins to control us. And obviously, we do have choices to make. And some of those choices are knowing how to take care of ourselves and our families and the people we love. And right now, I'm thinking that if there is a way to shift my perception from catastrophe to just a challenge that I need to face, then I've faced many, many challenges in my life. Mm-hmm. This is another one. Mm-hmm. And most of my life hasn't been facing challenges. Most of my life has been just living. And facing another challenge is just that. Mm-hmm. How do I do this one? Mm-hmm. And maintain for all intents and purposes, my equilibrium and my sanity. Mm-hmm. And Simone and I thought that perhaps today we could offer you some ideas.
And I think if you take the word challenge and transpose it into opportunity, it gets even broader.
That's very true.
It expands it out. And we want those opportunities, even though at times they're so painful or shameful or whatever comes up in the subconscious. But the miracles that come out of them are amazing.
I agree.
It doesn't feel like it when you're going through it. But when you think back for a moment on really traumatic times you've been through and what you've learned, what you experienced and what you learned about yourself and your own coping skills.
That's
And
very true.
it's really a powerful time. It's a powerful time.
Well, when we were deciding what we wanted to talk about today, one of the things we talked about was laughter. And laughter is something that strengthens your immune system. Whether you knew that or not, it is true. And we were talking about sharing some funny personal stories, things that have happened to us that ultimately were hilarious. And we both decided that many of them were not appropriate
I said they were dirty.
for this video. Well,
Too dirty. No, I was thinking one before, actually, Dorothy. I'm not going to tell the one that I did because it's disgusting, really. No. Anyway,
disgusting to you, funny as the world to me.
I know you were really laughing. I don't think I can tell it, but remember the time I used to put together all these psychic events for politicians and people in the city. And once Dorothy, I invited Dorothy and Terry Atwood. I don't think Terry was there actually.
No, I don't think she was. It was
And
Josie.
Josie Hadley, who was the founder of the Palo School of Hypnotherapy and great friends with Dorothy and myself and Terry Atwood, the four of us. I think we've mentioned used to be on the radio together, and we're all great friends. And Josie was the Aquarius in the group, and she would just say whatever was on her mind. No editing, nothing. So we're in the room with all these people, and the head of the opera, the head of the symphony in San Francisco, all these, they turned out to be very lovely people. And we were at a luncheon that Charlotte Schultz had put on in the city. And I was thinking, and it was so funny because Josie, who was so darling looking, she looked like your next door neighbor, right? She was going to do hand reading. Well, I had never heard, I just went with it. I said, okay, if she wants to do hand reading, I guess she's going to do hand reading. I guess she knows how. She'd never read my hand. Had she ever read yours, Dorothy?
Oh.
I thought, is she lying to get some money? Anyway, so I guess George Schultz comes and sits down across from her, right, Dorothy? George Schultz, who was Secretary of State, one of the finest people you could ever meet.
Absolutely.
So lovely and kind and nice. And so he gives her, I'm praying. I'm like, oh, Josie, please. Inside of myself, uh-oh. And I don't, she takes his hand to look at, and she's like, oh, you have such beefy hands. His face. I don't think anyone had ever told George Schultz that he had beefy hands.
Well, he has large hands.
He did, but beefy?
I know. That was.
Oh my God. And I'm like, that's my little story. We had so many moments like that. We had tons of them with all kinds of people. But
Oh, Lord. Tell me.
I mean.
I remember one time a Josie story as well. I was in Hawaii for your wedding.
Yes.
Yes. And Josie and I and a couple of other people had gone to the beach, and
oh, yeah.
there were huge swells that day, huge waves. And I had gone out maybe, I don't know, 25 feet from the shore. And Josie somehow had gone out even further. And so she was past the point of where the waves were breaking at the shore. And I was not watching, and I was waving to somebody in the further out, and this wave was coming behind me, and I didn't see it, and I turned at the same time that it came crashing down on me, and literally it pushed me to the bottom and the sand, and I thought I was dead.
We all did. We all were like, oh my God.
And finally I got up out of the water, and I gasping for breath and looking to make sure another wave wasn't coming, and I turned, and Josie is she's coming in and she's going to me, she's looking at me going, and I said, what? She said, I looked down in my bathing suit. Not there.
You were oh so ooh la la.
Oh my God. I was mortified. And Josie came running in. I thought she was coming in to help me, ran past me, ran up onto the beach where there was a woman who was taking videos of her children, and screamed to her, if you got that on film, I'll give you $1,000 for the camera. oh.
Poor Dorothy. Through the years, we have really gotten you in the nude a lot.
Well, so what?
I mean, it's because you have that J-Lo butt. Excuse me, everybody. We're taking a little segue here. She has the greatest butt in the world. It's really unfair. It's very, very unfair. It's like it never fell.
Well,
and for those of you in
wait a minute. What do you mean it never fell?
It's never fallen, your butt.
And that would mean...
It means it's got that peach.
You mean because of my age and I still...
No, it's always been like that since I've known you forever. You have that peach, that perfect peach thing, just like J-Lo. It's totally unfair for all of us who have flat butts. Oh, it's not fair. I'll just say that right now. In a time of trauma.
I don't think I don't think you need to know about this, do you?
So we're trying to show you what it's like to have fun with your friends and laugh. You gotta laugh, folks.
I'm guessing that each person, you watching us right now, has a story in your life that is hilarious, and it's probably about you. And maybe your homework could be to remember an incident in your life that maybe at the time was horrifying and later in retrospect hilarious. Spend some time laughing.
Oh yeah.
Even when it's at yourself.
That's the best one.
I was working with a woman online yesterday, the day before, and she's sheltered in place and a couple of kids and husband and so on. And I said, my question to her was, when was the last time you laughed hard? Mm-hmm. And she looked at me and she said, oh, I can't even remember. Mm-hmm. And then she said, and my husband's so funny. We both are not laughing. Homework.
And when you laugh, the vagus nerve, which I've talked about before, which starts up in here, and it's the longest nerve in your body, it goes right through your stomach. And so when you don't laugh, oftentimes the nerve gets very tight, and that's when you feel that anxiety and that tightness. When you laugh, it opens that whole thing up. Yes, and it releases all the stress and the tension. Yes. Remember in the olden days, we used to lie on the floor and put our head on each other's stomach and laugh, and how great that was? We would be crying, we would be laughing so hard. Yeah. And then you could have these great sleeps afterwards for like 18 hours because you've released so much.
Hard. Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. It's so funny. Yeah. You got to have fun during this. You've got to. It's really imperative. Yeah. I want to mention one other thing about the vagus nerve. Now that we're on it. I've been using different essence oils, and there's one for the immune system that's really lovely that you can get online, and I should go and get it probably. I didn't bring it in here with me. If you want to know about it, you're welcome to go to my website. There's one for the parasympathetic nervous system, which if you put this oil in back of your ears right here, these are big vagus nerve points, and it goes into the body, and the parasympathetic nervous system is what calms you down. Mm-hmm. And it's so lovely before you go to bed. And then I use a little lavender, And then there's one called Trauma Life that Young Living puts out. Very wonderful. I mean, these things, you could have a diffuser, you can rub it on your hands and just take it in, you know, you can rub it on your skin, around your neck, etc. There are many that are really healing that you can find out about. Young Living is one company, and then Jody, I can't remember the name of the other one, I should have brought it in with me. But I've been using them a lot, and they really calm down your nervous system. I mean, you'd lie in bed and you're like, whoa, this is good. They do. It's worth it. It's worth checking out.
Yeah. Well, what we're finding, and science is finding, is that fragrances and sound are very healing elements for us. I think that for most of us, we probably have favorite colors, and sometimes surrounding ourselves with certain colors, and sometimes just listening to favorite sounds and songs triggers something within us in the subconscious that is very healing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, strengthens the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And just recently, I was reading an article on the fact that they're working on a vaccine, I think, that will strengthen the immune system with this COVID-19 virus. And I also know that we can strengthen our immune system with or without a vaccine, but for those of us who understand that the immune system is, to say essential would be an understatement, to fight viruses and bacteria and so on. And in a few moments, I'm going to offer you a 2 or 3 minute exercise you can do to strengthen your immune system.
Great.
Yes. Wouldn't you love to do that, Simone?
I would love it. I'm ready.
You're ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me ask you, if I said to you, if your immune system were identified to you by a color, what color would it be?
Are you asking the audience?
I'm asking you.
If my immune system was identified by a color,
Mm-hmm.
the color I'm sitting in is indigo.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And so you might want to think about that as well. How would you identify your immune system?
Okay.
Now, your immune system is made up of many things, not just your lymphatic system, but your immune system is made up of many aspects of your internal environment. And it's there with a certain kind of intelligence, and every part of your immune system knows exactly what to do when your body is invaded by a foreign object or source or something not good for you. And so just think for a moment and close your eyes for a moment. And as you do that, think about the color that for you would represent your immune system. And in your mind, think the thought, this color represents my immune system. Whatever color it is absolutely fine. This is my immune system. Just think that thought. Connecting it to that color. And now, in your beingness of beingness, see that color as bright and as strong as it needs to be for your immune system to be fully and 100% active, and not more than 100%, only 100%. and hold that thought and that picture, and as though you are speaking to your immune system, think these words. I expect you to remain strong and fully functional now and for every now for the rest of my life. I expect you to remain strong and 100% functional now and for every now for the rest of my life. And hold that for just another moment. And then take a deep breath and open your eyes. And I'm offering you this tool to utilize once or twice every day. It is you talking to your body, this body that you own, this body that belongs to you. And as you communicate directly that way, it causes your entire body to respond, causes your subconscious mind to activate this aspect of you.
Yeah.
And keeps you strong and healthy. And only you are able to take charge of what you're doing inside your body. Only you are able to take charge of what thoughts you're sending to your body. And you want to send thoughts that empower you and enhance your life. You can make a choice every day. You can choose to be a victim or perceive yourself as a victim, or you can choose to take action. And that's really what we're doing, isn't it? With this show, we're helping people, or certainly inviting people to know how to take action.
Absolutely. That's very powerful. I love when you anchor it in there. When you say pause, it's really beautiful. It's really very nice. I could feel it. It's lovely.
I do this, by the way, I do this every day.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you did it once a day.
Even once a day.
Yeah.
Right? At least once a day, or something similar.
Well, suppose you had a heart problem and you did it with your heart.
Why not?
Or you were depressed and you put that form of how you think depression would, what color you would think it would be, that you would feel it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you worked with it that way.
Mm-hmm. And now what color is happiness?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Or lightness of being,
Exactly.
you know?
And speaking of lightness of being.
Yes.
So my little contribution is what I do at night to leave my body, to leave the world of responsibility and details and worry and trying to orchestrate everything, to go to the place of freedom. And how I have done that through the years is through remembering, first of all, that I am not a body, that my body doesn't own me, that my body listens to my thoughts, and very love my body, but there's something much deeper that will last after my body and was here before my body. this body. And I go to the place of remembrance of what it's like to be without a body, and to be the light and the love, and that purity, that innocence of being out of body. So it's really a process of remembering what it feels like just to be the pure flow of love and light. And so you can close your eyes for a moment, Dottie, and everyone out there. And you're lying in bed, you're closing your eyes. At first, you're just noticing your body, or you're sitting in a chair and you're noticing your body, noticing your legs, and your shoulders, your belly, your head, and just the weight of the body and the form of the body. And as you're doing that, you're noticing where there's any tension being held in any part of your body. Where would it be? Would it be your shoulders, your neck, your feet, your lower back? Could be anywhere, right? Your jaw. And saying to yourself lightly, I love you. You can let go now. I see that you're holding up the world. You're holding up your world, and you don't need to. It's okay, I'm here now, and you can relax. And so you feel yourself breathing into the knowing that your body can take care of itself. And for a while, you're just going to let your body lie there. And you're going to remember when you were just part of the stream of light without a body, so complete, totally connected in every way to spirit as you are even in a body. But for now, without the body, you're feeling yourself and remembering what it feels like to be absolutely free as light. Light streaming in a very loving, peaceful, calming way. And all you're doing is feeling yourself floating or drifting as clouds drift in the sky. You have no agenda, no responsibility, no worries. You're absolutely free. And as you float that way, you might say to yourself, I remember now. I am love. I am love. I am just love, pure and innocent. And let yourself breathe into that freedom. No weight, no burden, just the pure light of love, floating, floating, floating. And then you can actually feel yourself coming back when you're ready. Or you can stay out there and go into a very deep, deep sleep. That kind of knowing and remembering what it's like to be in that eternal bliss and that flow of light produces the most beautiful rest. And during this time, we need rest. We need very deep rest. And somehow knowing that there's the body and what the body is reacting to and seeing and feeling and experiencing during all of this. And then there's the part of you that's totally free of all of it, calm and at peace, just noticing, just like a cloud notices the sky. Oh, look how vast it is, and I'm a part of all of that. So you might try that. It's very peaceful.
Remember at this time also, not only to get proper rest, but to eat healthily.
Yes.
And for some people, taking supplements and eating healthily is just their norm. And for those of you who don't, you might want to consider shifting some of your perceptions about that.
Watch that sugar. Watch that sugar.
I know.
That sugar is a sly fox.
What about key lime pie?
Not now. And the other thing is breath. You're breathing. It's so important because that's another key part of keeping your vagus nerve open so that you're calm. And if you breathe in and hold it to the count of 6, and then breathe out really slowly and do that 10 times, breathe into 6, hold it to 6, release it to 6. Your vagus nerve has time to take all that out and just open like a flower. Breathing, most of the time when we're anxious, we're breathing up here. We're not anywhere near down where we need to be in our belly. So that's, I'm sure for all you yoga students and all the people that are, doing work on your body right now, whether it's somatic work or whatever, breath becomes everything. And it should be for all of us. It has to, not should, but it has to be for all of us. It's what keeps us here. It's the Spirit of God moving through you is breath. It's breathing you. I like that.
I like that.
I do too. Yeah. Oh, one other thing. Go out with the trees right now. The trees have so many stories to tell us. You hear probably about tree bathing and putting your, when I do my MP3s, etc. I always use it, not always, but most of the time I use a tree and have you, when I'm doing the guided imagery, have the listener with their spine against a tree so they can feel all of that incredible wisdom and groundedness coming through them. If you walk out into nature and just be friendly, open up to these friends, these great allies of ours, the trees, the flowers, the earth, and walk with, respect on the earth, walk with deep reverence for the earth. It's so healing for your immune system. And we remember when we've been in other cultures that really revered the earth. And then you can bring that into this consciousness, because boy, do we need it now. It's time. It's really time.
And it's like being with everything else that is living.
Yes.
Just creating that sense of oneness with everything that is living.
It's like that Scott Momaday poem that I read last time. I am alive, I am alive, I am alive. I stand in good relation to the earth. It's time. We all need to stand in good relation to the earth.
I hate to be the one who says it, but there is a school of thought that there are no accidents.
Yeah.
And someplace along the way, perhaps we all signed up for this. What we didn't sign up for is how we're reacting to it.
That's right.
And we can learn how to respond to what's going on around us, and not only nature, but other people. Mm-hmm. And doing it from our hearts, doing it from a love-based aspect of us, which is who we really are.
Mm-hmm. And also, and with that comes forgiveness. And I'm noticing people getting very angry on the street at people that don't have masks on. And while I understand that, I understand the fear behind that and the upset that people aren't wearing masks. We don't want to be passing on too much about, you should be wearing a mask. And, whatever you choose to do is your business, of course, it's your decision. But you want to be keeping your immune system as calm as you can. And there's so many moments in the day where you can really step away from yourself and get caught up in other people's stuff. Mm-hmm. And that mask thing has become such a huge metaphor for so many people.
And here's the other part. When we get angry about all of that, on either side,
yep,
anger is toxic.
That's right.
Toxic to your system, and all you're doing is toxifying. And when you're toxifying, think about what that might be doing to your immune system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're just noticing those people and sending them some consciousness,
That's all.
sending them some love without the judgment.
And judging by the time, we are about to say adieu.
Oh, but don't forget, watch your emails, because a bunch of you luckies are going to have readings on the air with us in a couple weeks.
Yes,
Letting you know, if you subscribe, then we'll know who to get to, correct, Dorothy?
exactly.
And we're so excited about this. It's going to be so much fun. So if you want to have a short reading, subscribe. Take good care of yourself out there. We'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.